Today's discussion of great Hindu gods and goddesses brings us to Sri Lakshmi. Lakshmi is regarded as the goddess of plenitude, of fervor, of happiness, and of pleasure in many ways. The beauty and the duality of Indian religion and mythology lies in the fact that we worship Lakshmi as the goddess of fervor, of harvest, of bounty, and also in forms where Vishnu has been associated. Her role has been critical in Vishnu Puran, and she has been regarded as a central figure in all the Puranas, including the Vishnu Puran and the Shiva Puran. So without much further ado, let's jump into our chapter on Lakshmi. Lakshmi's multiple importance in Hindu mythology cannot be captured in a few paragraphs or in a few lines. Three perspectives will demonstrate the breadth of her roles and changes in the ways in which she is perceived in Hindu mythology. Linguistically and historically, Lakshmi in the Rig Veda was a word of feminine gender that quantified good fortunes. Lakshmi became personified in the later Vedas as the correspondence with the priestly tradition found in the universe. In the Saptapada Brahmana and Sri were the two wives of celestial father Aditya. However, Aditya as father creator disappeared when Aditya became a term for group of gods, the Adityas, the son of Aditya. Throughout the Vedic period, Lakshmi floated from one father to another, the daughter of Prajapati, the churning of the milky ocean daughter, the mother of Kama, usually with a lotus in hand. By the time of epics, Lakshmi had become a major goddess. She appeared in the sage of Narada's list of gods and goddesses whom he worshipped, and elsewhere she became associated with Vishnu as a wife or one of the wives. From this point on, the myths about Lakshmi were embedded in theological perspectives. In goodness, theology Lakshmi was Devi, the mother and source of the universe, supreme energizing and creative energy of Vishnu. In Hindu polytheism, Lakshmi was one of the many interesting goddesses with myriad stories of her births and rivers. In Vaishnava theology, Lakshmi was wife of Vishnu, the supreme from whom all we exist. Shiva theology honored Lakshmi as Vishnu's wife in much the same way as Hindu polytheism. Thus, depending on perspective, there were many variations of birth or origins, myths, purpose or savior of myths, and so on. Lakshmi's birth in Devi Bhagavad Puran was from Supreme's left side. Then she divided herself again into Laxmi Devi and Radha Devi, each wedding different aspects of Vishnu herself. In each incarnation of Vishnu, according to Vishnu Puran, Lakshmi also incarnated as the churning of milky ocean as Padma, in the dwarf avatar as Kamala, in the Parashurama incarnation as Dharani, in the Rama avatar as Sita, in the Krishna avatar as Rukmini. In all other descents, she was there as well. From this perspective, Lakshmi's story would be found nested in story of Vishnu's incarnations. There were stories from perspective that suggested that Lakshmi was appropriated by the Shaivas. These fragments could be explained from any perspective, but they are worth mentioning to suggest her role in situations other than being of Vishnu's wife. Lakshmi cursed Mahavishnu to have his head fall off. She stayed in court of Kuber and also in court of Brahma, and then as goddess, saying that she was only Lakshmi, not Sati. and that she left Bali for Indra. The stories about Lakshmi courting kings may have been responsible for division of Mahalakshmi into two forms: a virtuous Vishnupriya Lakshmi and a flirtatious Rajya Lakshmi. But a curse was used to explain why she lived with or was the wife of different gods. As the goddess of wealth and plenitude, Lakshmi is worshipped in temples and homes in many ways, such as Gajalakshmi or Dhanalakshmi. Her images always holds a lotus in one hand and showering wealth at the other.